And see, Doc, here's the thing that I would just love, because see, Tim Scott, Jim Crow, he won't address that black folks were frozen out of many city, county, state jobs, federal jobs, frozen out of corporate America. Black folks who were brilliant minds, who were reduced to being janitors and garbage collectors. He ain't gonna talk about what the garbage workers in Memphis were being paid when Dr. King went there in 1968. He's not gonna talk about what the garbage workers in Memphis were being paid when Dr. King went there in 1968. He's not going to talk about why folks were in poverty. He won't even address why there was a great society from President Lyndon Baines Johnson. He's not going to talk about before the very people there that the same person who they're praising, Ronald Reagan, was standing against selling homes to black folks in California. They ain't going to talk about any of that. Oh, I'm sorry. He ain't going to talk about redlining and that it was the realtor industry that created that, which had a direct impact on black wealth. No, what they want to keep doing is saying how, the Great Society was a failure. Well, if you gonna call the Great Society a failure, Doc, you got to call all of those government welfare programs that Franklin Delano Roosevelt created for white folks in West Virginia, Tennessee, Georgia, where they literally were funding stuff for them to build and was like, yo, just build some stuff because we gotta get these folks working. And it was white folks who were benefiting from that, and those white folks were able to get jobs. They were able to sit here and buy homes and send their family to school. But it's amazing how we forget the white folks who got welfare, but he wants to focus on the black mothers who got checks on the LBJ.
This makes it easier for them because people believe that particular myth, and they don't want to look at historically what has been done for people like you just said. And I think it's unfortunate. Myth, and they don't want to look at historically what has been done for people like you just said. And I think it's unfortunate because we need to really get better at educating everybody, black and white and brown people, about how this country has really caused harm for some families. And it's not because they're lazy, it's not because they don't want to work, it's because there have been purposeful practices that have been put into place that have not ever allowed people to be all they can be, particularly those who are black and brown.
And he's running around talking about the opportunity zones when I had one of the preachers from Baltimore who was at the White House with him and Donald Trump, who came on my show the day they announced it, touting it, yet he came on the show 6 months later and said those same opportunity zones are an abject failure and not helping the people who are poor living in those areas. But then Tim Scott somehow is thinking that his opportunity zones are creating real opportunities for poor black folks right now. And we all know that's a flat out lie.
Well, we are in a spiritual war, babies. There's a voice crying out in the wilderness, prepare ye the way of the Lord. It's a war cry.
Because we have a frail, aging, about to drop dead President of the United States. Because we have a frail, aging, about to drop dead President of the United States. President Donald Trump suffered a stroke several months ago and has kept it from the public. A medical expert has claimed. Let's read the excerpts. The article goes on to say, I think his stroke was on the left side of his brain, which controls the right side of the body, Davidson told the biographer Sidney Blumenthal, and Princeton historian. I think the stroke was 6 months ago or more. Earlier in 2025, he continued, there are videos of him shuffling his feet. We've all seen this. You saw when he was shuffling to go clap like a seal for Vladimir Putin in Alaska. We've all seen that, which is not what we'd seen previously when he was striding on the golf course. We've seen him holding his right hand cradled in his left hand. Earlier in 2025, he was garbling words, which he hadn't done before, and which he's improved upon more recently. Davidson also pointed to what he described as marked episodes of excessive daytime sleepiness, known medically as hypersomnolence, which he said is common among stroke patients. Trump is now routinely appearing to nod off in public appearances, such as White House events. And what I have to say here is, when you all in the comment section said it, we have been on this, but their whole game, you guys, the whole game, the timeline just shrunk. In order for this authoritarianism to really take hold, it would be better if they did it incrementally, to where we didn't notice as much. They took a little bit here, they took a little bit there. What has happened since these medical episodes? What's happened since we started getting the images of his grotesquely swollen ankles? It took a little bit here, they took a little bit there. What has happened since these medical episodes? What's happened since we started getting the images of his grotesquely swollen ankles and then all the bruising on his hands? He's nodding off yesterday, talking about milk in the Oval Office. I mean, just like snoring, literally. They have accelerated the timeline. And I think that this is where their lack of impulse control is going to screw them. This strong man is now this frail senior citizen, dementia patient, stroke victim. We all saw the 9/11 memorial with this. Now listen, I know all of us have seniors in our life and seniors that have had strokes. That's not the issue. Whether he's 20 or 80, he's still a prick. And I want to be super, super clear on that. But these types of governments rely solely on this one personality and putting things in incrementally. And I think, remember Pumps when he was talking about, I don't know if I'm going to get into heaven. Send me $5,000 so I can get into heaven. And he started talking about his own mortality. Now we have it. Here's the thing.
I just simply don't have any patience whatsoever with silent and complicit Negroes whatsoever. With silent and complicit Negroes.